Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brody Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brody, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we are being joined by Bryan Acosta, who is one of our authors in our Get Published business book. Bryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, Bryan, you ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
All right, question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
You know, one of the things that is a big deal with me when I was writing my book is just the procrastination and the fighting time. I would set a set schedule just to get it done. Most of the time we procrastinate, and this happens, through life. I mean, anything that we do in life, we tend to procrastinate on the things that are going to, build our business. And that's a lot. I think that somebody once told me that, we spend more time in the business instead of on the business. And then by, authors that are writing books about their business, and of course for me too as well, it's a big deal because story branding is a big deal. And so, my piece of advice for authors is just get it done. Set up a task to do on a daily basis, whether it's a page or it's a paragraph, just to get the book or the chapters that are needed done.
Well, Lao Tzu said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first steps, and that's the main thing. Done is better than perfect. Don't be afraid to take the plunge and get that book out there.
Agreed.
Well, what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Like I said, it's the time-consuming portion. As for me, I'm a creative. I'm a digital marketer, so creating the story is not hard. Creating the content is not hard because content's in our head. It's just taking the time to document the content, taking the time to document your story, taking the time to put all these ideas and thoughts on paper, I think is one of the hardest things to do, because you can hire professionals like you to edit this content, edit the book itself, and look over the book and make sure that it's right. But I think it's the hardest thing is just making sure that you're doing what needs to be done, which is taking all this content that's in your head and put it on paper. And then, I think a lot of people struggle with this because it's just tedious. I think that's what it is, and I think that's the hardest portion of writing a book.
Well, I know with your book, with your chapter in the book, that when you got it done, you actually ended up repurposing content from a blog.
Yes, so that one, once again, that's because I didn't have time to write a full-on chapter. A lot of content that we do as search engine optimization. So blogging is a big portion when it comes to search engine optimization. You just gotta have to do it, and so we took one of our blogs and repurposed it and just put a story behind it. But we put that into as a chapter in a book, and we have tons of blogs, tons of content. I think for authors out there that are thinking of the long term, they're thinking maybe I have to write this entire book. Maybe they just need to start by writing a bunch of blogs, and then taking those blogs and then repurposing them into and transferring it into a book and organizing it. So maybe that would be an easier step for some of these entrepreneurs and business owners that are thinking about writing a book. And then in the long-term run, not only are they writing their chapters, but they're writing blog articles that's going to help them with their search engine optimization. So it's a win-win situation.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in this book launch that has worked well? Because you helped us quite a bit on the social media side when we were doing this. Just to tell our audience, Bryan and I are good friends. He's actually one of our strategic partners. And when we were doing this book launch, you were helping out a great deal with training our co authors in the book how to leverage their social media with different posts and sharing the book link. And then also, you and Ruben, your business partner, also were helping us with the Facebook Live that was done with the author panel at our book launch party. So I know we just covered a lot of information to unpack, but share a little bit about that journey, because you are clearly a social media marketing expert, and I'd like to get your input with this.
Yeah, so anytime you develop quality content, so whether that's a book or a blog or video, it's important that it doesn't just get put on a bookshelf, right, or get into a library and you're not utilizing. So if because we're a chapter in a book, because we're establishing credibility, it's important to get it out there, but it's not just important just to get it out there, but to get the right feel. And so when I was coaching some of these entrepreneurs and business owners on what kind of picture to take when you're posting something on social media, they were just thinking, I'm just going to take a picture here at the chamber, take a picture of the book, and then put it on social media. And yeah, that's going to be great and all, but the atmosphere matters as well. So that works for me because I'm a service-based industry, and it looks like I'm a business owner and I work with businesses. But for like a roofer, I would take a picture of myself on a roof with a book in my hand or something like that, just so I can get the attention of the consumer that I'm trying to target. And so because I'm a business owner, targeting business owners, then I want a business atmosphere to promote myself and let people know that I am a authority in my industry, right? And I know you use this acronym a lot. The root word for authority is author, right? And so that's just one of those ways that we were able to do. I'm an author in a book. I put it on social media in a business atmosphere because that was my target demographic. But then I coached other people, if you have a salon, you're trying to promote your salon as well, but you're also trying to promote your authority. So say that you're in a book, put a picture up, say you've written your book, but be in front of your store because you want to get as much impressions and eyes on your store as possible. And then as far as, doing Facebook Live, it's just as you have to be in front of as many people as possible countless times. And that's why we did a Facebook Live because Facebook Live is a free boost. We can pay for traffic on Facebook. We can pay for ads. But the minute you do a Facebook Live, your entire contact list gets a notification that you're going live. So that's free traffic to your personal profile and to your business. So there's countless ways you can, repurpose a book. I mean, I know for a fact I teach people that, if you're going to use a free ebook download as a lead generation for your business, or maybe a tripwire, which is, sell it for $5 to $10 online, not necessarily trying to make $1 million. You're trying to use it for the back end of your business model so that you can acquire clients for the profit maximizer, which is a full service, service that you provide. So there's just a couple of different things that you could utilize a book for, and I don't think that people understand. Yes, it is marketing, but it's also a sales strategy.
Well, another thing too is the great thing is when you're doing a book like this, when we had 75 people as part of this project, we could tag them. So we were friends of most of them, and then we were tagging them in all the major posts, whether it's about the link or whether it's about the audiobook, or when we're posting the picture going, hey, it's gone live today, or it's the #1 bestseller in all these categories. We were able to tag every single person in there. And then what happened was we kept emphasizing that. And you brought that up when you trained some of our business owners about that, was to make sure that you tag everyone in it for that organic outreach, because our organic outreach was in 5 figures once you tallied up everything, because everyone was sharing it, or they were tagging each other, or there's different pictures. And a lot of those pictures, they got a lot of attention. I know with Valley and Libby Caldwell, their picture got over 200 likes. Libby was our 8-year-old author in the book. And the fact that we got this great 8-year-old young lady as part of this book project, and she's a published author, that got a lot of attention. And the same thing with our friends the Salters, they're coffee roasters here in Arlington, because they have a huge social media outreach, and every post that they were doing was getting a minimum of 50 likes, if not more. I think one of them actually got like 150. So it's really utilizing your reach, but also with tagging people who are also part of that collaboration project as well.
Right, exactly. And the thing is that these strategies we didn't make them up. We're just reusing what has already been out there. My favorite phrase is, don't try to reinvent the wheel, right? And so, there's authors and very well-known authors, such as like Robert Kiyosaki. He's written multiple books, and some of the ways he's done is the exact same thing. He's brought on authors to his book. So there's multiple people writing inside some of his books that he's written. And so I think this is a great idea that you had 75 business owners, because, you can use everybody's network and to promote this book and to help each other promote each other's, chapter in this book. So it's a great way to network, organic networking of this book as far as getting it to outreach to different people.
Well, a nice thing, too, is over half the people in the book were based here in the DFW Metroplex, and we were able to leverage that with having a great photographer at our event that, took these amazing pictures, and then we were able to have that shared in some of the local media. Arlington Today Magazine was a great example, where they posted multiple pictures from our book launch party, and then they also put it on their website. And it's just, there's so many different things that you can do to leverage a book launch, especially if it's one of these multi-author type of launches, because there's so many different things that you can do to leverage it.
Yeah, you just hit up on a point too. Is just and we preach about this. Everything's about relationship, and using all these relationships to network and to promote your business. We were able to get a photographer, and we were able to have coffee at the not only just at your book launch, but at multiple events now that we host here in Arlington. It's just that relationship marketing that you're able to do by getting everybody involved in a project that's going to benefit everyone is a very good marketing strategy on your behalf.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about connection, right? It's not about a pitch. It's not about a script. It's about genuinely being able to connect with another person. And when you can do that, it takes care of a lot of things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, majority of, talking about that, being real, being authentic. I think you and I are planning to write this book, Authentic Marketing. But part of that, and I would just give a little teaser on this, but part of that is I want to talk about the journey of being running 6 gyms and breaking records in sales in the entire fitness industry. And I know I did 1,354 memberships in 1 month. But when people told me that I wasn't a good salesperson, that because everybody's been trained on hard sales, right? And they would call me the soft closer. But at the end of the day, that's the new era, which is no one likes to be sold anymore. They like to be helped. And so, that's a prime example of authenticity. I was real with my clients. I was real with all my members. And that allowed me to be a leader in the industry and break records as a salesperson. And that then converted into me becoming a business owner and then helping me have a successful marketing business and helping other business owners with their authentic marketing as well for their businesses.
Well, and it was funny, too. We came up with this book title 2 weeks ago, and I think we did it in 90 seconds.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, authentic marketing, that's your hook. He goes, oh, I mean, you're like, oh, man, that's perfect. Because you kept thinking about the book idea, and the 90 seconds I mean, we're not going to talk about the subtitle because we'll save a little later for when you get that book out there. But I just loved it because it's exactly what you do, and it's what we do. And I mean, that's what works. It's genuinely connect to another person. People don't want to be pitched. They don't want a script. You don't need that stuff. You just need to be able to genuinely connect, and you're good to go.
Yep, exactly. Be real, and then you'll get real results.
Exactly. Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know, what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
So my favorite book of all time is Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. So I read this book when I started the business, in the middle transition of starting my business, because I was trying to understand the difference. I was going from employee to running a business, and I kept on thinking sell, because that's how I was trained, and I was systemized, but I was thinking like an employee, right? And so I wasn't really thinking like a business owner. And when I read this book, I mean, it really changed my mindset as far as a business owner, and not thinking like an employee anymore, but thinking of an entrepreneur, going into the self-employed, trying to become a business owner, and eventually become an investor. Investing in different companies and investing in different real estate. I mean, there's all kinds of opportunity out there, but it was the mindset of changing from what I thought was a norm, which is, sell, into, now I'm a business owner. You have to think of multiple things. You have to know how to run your money. You have to know how to manage your money. You need to know how to invest your money. You need to know how to save money. I'm a great salesperson, great marketer. And those things that I felt that was financials, and it's a big deal, for small business owners to realize, hey, I need to invest more time understanding financing, invest more time in understanding the change of where I'm going, because once you get out of the employee phase of your life and going into self-employed, I mean, it's a different game. It's a different ball game.
Absolutely. And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Okay, so we're going to take this back to the children's books here. So it's funny, when I saw this question, I was like, oh man, he's going to give me some beef on this. But this goes back actually to when I was a teenager and I was at church. And the pastor gave a sermon on this actually quote. But it has stuck with me for my entire life, and it has stuck with me for everything that I have ever done. And that's from Dr. Seuss, the Lorax. And that quote was, if someone like you doesn't care a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And that's my favorite quote, because if you think about it, if you don't care about what you do, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're writing a book, growing a business, working as an employee, trying to go up the ladder, unless you care about what you do and give your 110%, nothing is ever going to get better.
Nah, I'm not going to roast you on that one. That's a darn good quote. I like that, Bryan.
All right. Well, I appreciate you.
It's only because we're doing the podcast. I'll probably roast you later.
Right. You'll give me some pizza.
Well, Bryan, I do want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Best way to go is to look us up, Advent Trinity, or go to our website, adventtrinity.com. We do also have, a Facebook page. If you look up our Facebook page, tons of content. We do tons of webinars. We do tons of seminars. There's a lot of education out there that we do for business owners to help them grow their business. But you can always go to our website. That's the best way to get more information about our business. Honestly, it's adventtrinity.com. And that is 2 T's in there. So adventtrinity.com.
Well, Bryan, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.